Hi and welcome along to the All Guns Blazing podcast. Different scenery today. We're sat out here on the balcony in Milan of the apartment that we rented for this trip. And I'll tell you what, it is a nice apartment, isn't it? This is central Milan. It's beautiful. And it was a beautiful night last night, DT.
Yeah, really
Arsenal beating AC Milan by 2-0.
Yeah.
A clean sheet. We won in the blue kit.
That's
right?
Yeah,
Wenger was off the touchline.
That's more of a shock, the blue kit.
Just all round, an excellent performance by Arsenal in a packed San Siro. Nobody thought that we would go there and get a result. Neither of us two, before the game, thought that we'd get anything out of it. I remember saying to you that I'd take a 2-1 defeat with an away goal to go back to the Emirates. I mean, 2 away goals, absolutely superb.
Yeah, it was the perfect European performance.
Is
what you really have to say.
Even Arsenal in their prime haven't been doing them sort of performances in a long time, where they go away from home, play a big team and keep a clean sheet with a victory.
Yeah, it's, gauging by what you read on online and stuff, before the game we were going to lose 3-4-0, and then because we won, it was a poor AC Milan side. So you can't win sort of thing, but do you know what, like we said, 13 games unbeaten going into that. They were 6 games without conceding a goal.
Roma, some good teams.
They beat Roma away last week. I know they were meant to play Inter at the weekend, but obviously that was cancelled for obvious reasons. But yeah, going to the San Siro, man, it doesn't matter whether this is the AC Milan of old or new or still AC Milan.
Because it's an intimidating place, isn't it? We were down there, you saw the videos, we were down there, it's a huge stadium.
It's loud.
Right, it's loud, all their fans are really, really up for it, right? They put us right on the top tier, but to be fair to the Arsenal fans, they were brilliant, the atmosphere up there was great. And it was almost as if, I've just felt that it was almost like the perfect trip. We came over on the plane, there was loads of Juventus fans on there, right? All happy because they'd beaten Tottenham the night before and knocked them out of the Champions League. And a lot of Arsenal fans were really loving it because of that. But we was also like, we can't get too carried away because we got our game. And, we could get smashed as well, knowing us, how we've been playing recently. But to then, put in that performance, the atmosphere is brilliant. That is what I felt gave the fans a lot of pride last night, and fans were just delighted.
It kind of, like you said, it put pride back in the club.
Yeah.
We've had a really hard week. Really hard week. Well, no.
Weeks, months, years.
This week especially. From the cup final to the league game against Man City to the league game against Brighton. All the talk of moles in the dressing room, the unrest and what's going on. It was kind of something to give the club a smile again. And that's what it was. And I'm hearing talks this morning and everything else. I'm having a look and people are saying that Arsenal are apparently going to come out quite soon and announce Wenger's leaving at the end of the season. They think
talks from who?
It's just what's going on in...
Who said that?
No one's particular, it's just within the media. Yeah, rumours, that's what I said. And it's... I think that if he is going, I think the best move that the club could make would be to say, don't leave it hanging, don't leave it dragging. If the club were to turn around right now and say, end of the season, Arsene Wenger's going to step down. He's going to move aside and we're going to go a different direction. I think that would then give everyone a bit of clarity.
You know what, we'll come back to that, We're going to come back to the Wenger situation.
Yeah.
But first of all, I want to talk about the performance.
Yeah.
Right? Where did that come from? Was it because AC Milan were crap? Or was it because we were just so good? Because the first thing that, and you said it in your interview yesterday, and I thought to myself the same thing in watching the game, was the first thing I noticed is that AC Milan allowed Arsenal to have the ball in their own half. It was that typical Italian style of play, and you can have it there, but once you come in our half, we're going to win it back and we're going to counter and that. But that played into our hands because, as you said last night, when you watch the performances of Brighton, if you watch the performances of Swansea, Manchester City, it was a high press, winning the ball off us high up the pitch and then attacking us and putting us under huge pressure in our own box. They didn't do that.
No. Big mistake from them. to be honest. I think the pace that they play in the Italian league kind of suited some players, especially Granit Xhaka.
Yeah,
I thought he was excellent last night.
Brilliant. I think that's possibly his best performance I've seen
for
about a year.
Yeah, and like I said, the pace that suited him, where he could just go through it, just relax,
gliding around, wasn't he? He was just
and when he can play like that, you can see what he can do, and it does make me think. I know we get back to the Wenger sort of thing, but it is, what would he be like under a different manager? Someone that maybe instilled it into him about releasing it a bit earlier. That you can't have that much time in the Premier League, and to adapt your game to the situation of who you're playing. You know, he seems to have one like mode. You know, certain games you're going to have to be a bit higher than others. Teams play different tempos and all sorts, but yeah, he's one that I would like to see under another manager. There's a few players. You know, a lot of people say that, you know, if Wenger goes, completely get rid of the squad and players.
Yeah.
There's some seriously good players there. And I would really like to see, for at least a year, what they're like under another manager. You know, imagine some of these players under an Allegri, for example. You know, what would they really be like? You know, you talk about Mustafi and Koscielny. Koscielny, it's the best I've seen him in absolutely months.
He was superb. He was like, you know, his tackling was brilliant. He looked like he had his pace back yesterday. Some of the tackling and
even Mustafi, like I said, he wasn't jumping in. He went in when he had to. He stayed on his feet when he had to. He done everything right. You know, in the first half, I think there was a couple of shaky moments where Milan could have scored, and we kind of rode our luck on a few incidents.
But you know what it was? It was like, what I noticed as well yesterday is that there were mistakes by Arsenal defenders. And listen, mistakes happen, even with the very best. Chiellini can even make a mistake, right? Mistakes, but what I noticed yesterday is that when a mistake was being made, there was a player covering that mistake.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I've not seen in a long time at Arsenal. It's like, basically, somebody makes a mistake and the other team are in.
Yeah.
But it was like somebody was making an error, because obviously confidence was still low at the start of that game. Somebody was making an error and somebody was coming and covering that guy. And that's when I talk about fight. I mean, a lot of times the word fight, everybody just think is somebody running around. That's
like
not
me.
what. Yeah, not your type of fights, right? Right. But fight for me means that you back up your other players. So if you're a striker or a winger, right? When the ball's lost, you get back to help out the defenders. You're all fighting together, and I saw that last night. That's what really pleased me.
What did I say to you?
They were fighting together.
Was it after the Brighton game? And I said to you about the players there was no professional pride.
Yeah.
You know, they went out there like the words that had been said all week hadn't stung them, like it hadn't hurt them, like they didn't care.
Yeah.
But yet, yesterday it looked like something triggered that. Something went, hold on a minute. And whether some of those players want the manager out or not, they've actually said, you know what, we need to do this for ourselves, for the fans, for the club. And they went out there and they looked to be a bit of that wounded animal about it. And there was a togetherness. You know, even when we scored the goals, apart from Ospina, everyone was together.
Yeah.
You know, there was that sense. But I hate to, you know.
Here he goes, negative, come on.
The problem is.
Ding, ding, negative coming, incoming, negative.
No,
right, here we go.
We got Watford on Sunday. It would be very Arsenal-like to lose.
Well, Watford are going to be fully rested.
Yeah.
Watford are going to be up for it.
Troy
Deeney, our old mate Troy Deeney, with the old kahunas, you know what I mean? He's going to be up for it, and he's going to be definitely 100%. They're going to be, they won't play. I don't think they'll play like our AC Milan played. No. I think they will try and put us on the back foot, but confidence has got to be high now after that one game. You know what I mean?
This is the thing, it's about.
You can go away to AC Milan. You're at home, come on.
Consistency.
Yeah.
That's what it is, Robbie. And this is why I've been so reserved. This is why I'm always so kind of, let's not get carried away. Because for as great as a result that was last night, like I said, we can easily lose on Sunday. If we go into that game and we win, you can say, right, there's the next step. Then we go into the game against Milan next week.
Because we still ain't through yet.
Yeah, if we get past that, we navigate that, beat them, that's 3 wins on the bounce. We then go into a big break for 2.5 weeks or so. Won't have a game until April. That will give everyone the chance to
get Lacazette back.
You know, that's. I think we've missed him.
Let's get on Welbeck last night. Now, was it? You know what? I thought he was superb last night, even though he had that chance. And I watched it again. I was watching it again last night. You know what? He tried to. He was running through with it on his left foot. Then he tried to switch it to his right. Then, it was all too rushed. I don't know if he would have scored that. It would have given him a load of confidence. And maybe if he got that chance again, he'd be a bit more composed. But he just needs that goal to go in. But again, what I did like about him last night is for a guy that's under a lot of pressure, for not scoring, Bambi on ice, all this sort of stuff, his work rate, the threat that he posed yesterday to that Milan defence was superb.
Yeah.
We could just put a ball in behind and his pace all night long. They were frightened to death of him.
Yeah, no, that's...
Holding up, he was superb.
He did what he had to do, and at the end of the day, I criticise players when they don't perform, and I praise them when they do right. It's simple as that. Yeah, I praised him last night. I said he played well. You know, the thing that let him down was his finishing, because, like I said to you as well, if we would have been playing like an Atletico last night, you could only end up with one chance.
Yeah.
And we need someone that's going to take that one chance, because that one goal could be the difference between winning the Europa and not. You know, we were lucky that we were given quite a few chances last night. So those misses were not something that we're looking back on this morning and going, oh, if only Welbeck would have scored that. If we can look back on it and go, well, yeah, he missed the chances, but you know what? His overall game was good. So we can find, even though it wasn't perfect, we can sit there and say, there's these positives. You know what I mean? Whereas
Mkhitaryan was another positive yesterday.
Yeah,
like, a goal.
Opening 20 minutes.
Hit the bar.
Opening 20, 30 minutes, I said to you, I thought he was superb. He was causing them so many problems. And his link up with Ozil, there seemed to be a bit of a thing going on between them.
Ozil played well last night. A great assist.
Two
assists.
I watched the assist again of Aaron Ramsey.
The Ramsey assist was superb.
My word, that guy, I know everyone takes the mick out of him with the size of his eyes, but there must be something about him, because I don't know how anyone else would have seen that. But what he does is he makes that look so simple.
Yeah. I still worry about him on that right-hand side, though.
Yeah, it's not ideal. It's not ideal.
Because, when he loses the ball on that right, or when he doesn't have the ball on that right-hand side, he offers no cover whatsoever to the right back. You know what I mean? And they were kind of exploiting that right-hand side at times.
I think things might be a little bit different when Lacazette's back. I think it might juggle around a little bit, but yeah, I'd rather Ozil in that middle area where he's more effective, where he can do what he does best. You know, but like we said, he's come to AC Milan. He's created 2 goals. What more do you want?
We've got to see it home, though.
Yeah.
Right. They come next week. Ostersons gave Arsenal a fright. We were very complacent in that game. We got to see it home.
We were 3-0 up going into that game, and then we went 2-0 down. And they scored 2 goals in a minute.
Yeah.
So AC Milan can very easily score 2 goals in a minute. Because you know what it's like at the Emirates as well? Let's say AC Milan go 1-0 up.
Nervy.
Oh, everything gets nervous and jittery, and then...
But then, having said that, we go out there, get an early goal, go attacking, because there's no reason. You know what? In a way, it plays into our hands a little bit, because in that game on the Thursday, there's no reason for Arsenal not to go full pelt, because as you said, there's a 2-week break after that for us in Arsenal games. So if we go for it, get that early goal, then Milan have to score 4.
The only thing that worries me is we're not the only team that's done this. Is when you've got quite a comfortable league going into a second leg, you're caught in 2 minds as to play.
Yeah, I think we have to play.
You know. Listen, we just play our game.
We can't be going defensive and that. We got I think the Milan team, I think what you'll see, which is very Italian-like, is they'll do a similar thing to what Juventus did, which is basically the first sort of part of the game, they'll stay in the game. They won't do nothing too stupid, they'll be cautious, but there'll come a time in the second half of that game, if it's 0-0, say, where they'll absolutely go for it. And we saw with Juventus against Tottenham the other day. That, you know, that's brilliant, by the way. But they got the win. And they had a couple of moments, bang, bang, game over. So, and then, you know, Italian teams can lock it down. So we're going to have to be, I think the big difference is we've got 2 unanswered goals. The Tottenham one, they were 2-2. Yeah. We're 2-0. So it's a massive advantage. We've got to see this home. And what if?
Yeah, we have to.
Get into the Wenger thing now.
Oh, here he goes again.
What happens? What happens?
How convenient. Look, right on cue.
Oh, coffee.
Look at that.
What's this? Americano cappuccino, all right.
Could have put it in a proper cup.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Where's the Italian style cups?
We're trying to sit here and have nice scenery, lovely background, and then you come out with a paper cup. Do you know what I mean? What is this?
I'll tell you what, it's a good coffee, man.
It's budget, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, in Italy, you know, the food, the coffee, everything, superb. Love it. What's that? Is that all right?
If I'm not moaning.
Yeah, that's true. It must be half decent.
It must be all right. It's just the cup. I'm not happy about that.
I'm not happy about the cup either.
No, could have at least
started it up a bit better than that.
I mean,
come on, man.
Look,
aesthetics. And the video, look where we sat, man. You know what I mean?
And people think you've got loads of money.
Yeah, exactly. Broke.
Know what I mean? We're on a budget.
Paper cup budget.
We're on a budget.
Now listen, check this out now. Arsene Wenger.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd forgot.
Beats AC Milan. Mm-hmm. In the next round, we're into the quarterfinals. Wins that. Semi-finals. Wins that, we're in the final. 3 games, possibly.
Yeah.
Right? Wins the Europa League.
This is perfect right now, isn't it? Look. What's that mean? And look, you know the frog.
And then he comes in.
Look. But that's none of my business. No.
Wins the Europa League. Goes to the board. Says, guys, it's been a bit of a horror show in the league, but I've done it again. I've done it again. I've done it again. Just when you thought I was dead, I've done it again. And he says, listen, I won you the Europa League. My contract finishes at the end of the next season. I want the last season. I want to go out in style. I want to go out on a high. I think I can do something in the league for this one last year. Would you give him that last year?
No.
He wins the Europa League.
No.
European trophy. We're back in the Champions League.
No.
He says, listen, I want to be able to, I've pulled something out of nothing.
No.
I want to be able to lead this team into the Champions League for my final season. After all I've done for you for the 20-odd years of hard service when there was no money. Right? Nothing. Where how I transitioned.
I
transitioned this team.
Oh my Lord.
I transitioned this team.
Robbie.
Into the new stadium.
Robbie.
You at least have to give me that.
No, we don't.
Could you turn round if he did that and won the Europa League and turn around to him and say, sorry mate, you're gone?
Yep. You got more waffle than Captain Birdseye. Seriously.
No, but this is, you know what?
Look at the way you was waffling it on.
You know what? Even though.
Oh yeah, you're going on like your Braveheart.
You know what? Even though I'm saying it in a funny way and that, right? There's some points in there that, you know, it would be difficult, wouldn't it? Because if he went along and he won the Europa League and he said, listen, come on, I want. No. I've never ever ended. He's just. Hold on, wait. Before you see interrupting. He said the other day, right? He goes, I've never ever broken my contract, and there's clubs, and this is not a lie by Wenger. There's clubs over the years, PSG, Real Madrid, and people like that who've wanted him.
Why didn't he go?
And he's turned them down.
Why didn't he go?
Listen, regardless of what
because he would have got exposed.
He's turned them down, and he's stayed at Arsenal Football Club. If he wins that Europa League, and he says, come on, I deserve to finish my contract like I've always done.
No.
Would he not be deserving of that?
Nope, because it could go all the way back again, because we'll get humiliated in the Champions League. We'll finish God knows how many points behind in...
final year.
It doesn't matter, because that final year can set us back even more years. Why should we set back even more years as a club just because we got, let's
won a trophy, won the Europa League.
It's not retirement home. Arsenal Football Club, and we need to do what's best for us. And the best thing for us is for Wenger to win the trophy and to walk away on a high.
Mourinho won the Europa League last year, finished 6th in the Premier League, was under huge pressure. Man United board backed him, kept him on, gave him a load more money to spend. He's still in a job.
Things are a lot different between Mourinho and Arsene Wenger, and there's a lot of Man United fans that actually ain't happy with Mourinho and the way that they're playing at the moment. So it's not as rosy as everyone might think. At the end of the day, it's for us to make them steps forward, we need wholesale changes to the backroom staff, the training, the voice, everything needs to change.
You bring in a guy underneath Wenger for that final year.
No, because you're wasting a year of some of our best players who have only got a few years left. You're going to waste another year of Mesut Ozil, you're going to waste a year of Aubameyang, you're going to waste a year of Lacazette. These players ain't getting no younger. Yeah, get a new man in now.
Could raise their game in that last year. They could say.
You could have said that this year. You could have said that last year.
He's going out. It's his last year. Let's really put it in for him.
Robbie, you could have said that last year. Last year was technically his last year. What did the players play like? Conceding 3 goals at Bournemouth, 3 goals at West Brom, 3 goals at Crystal Palace. No one was raising their game then, were they?
Yeah, that's true.
You know, look at the problems right now. You know that there's problems behind the scenes. Let's not paint over it. Let's not paper the cracks. Love that.
I knew that word was coming somewhere in this video.
But it is true though. You look at it, there is definitely problems behind the scenes. We need wholesale changes. And I'm not just saying Arsene Wenger. We need a new assistant manager to go with a new manager.
What's up with Baldy?
He just sits there, does nothing. He's a yes man.
Loads of people wanted him in when he came in.
Because they thought
Baldy will sort it out.
Yeah, because they thought that he was actually going to, you know, but we already hear the rumours.
Maybe that's imposed on him.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that he's not allowed to do some of the things that he wants to do. You know, you heard Lee Dixon's comments at the AGM the other day, where he said that he spoke to Baldy about Hector Bellerin. Now you're talking about Lee Dixon, one of the best right backs that's ever played for Arsenal, and he's obviously knows what to say about Bellerin. He plays in his position, and he's saying to Baldy, look, have a word with him. Why is he getting so far forward when, you know, there's no need? And Baldy's like, I've tried telling him. But it's like, no one's listening then. If Baldy's tried telling him and he's just ignoring him, then people are just running amok. They're not listening. Players ain't listening. Half of them are doing their own thing.
One more year.
No.
One more year.
No.
One more year.
I know you want your Bugatti and all that, but no, it's not happening.
It's
all
a
right?
Bugatti.
Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, right?
Do you know what, right?
Listen, no, because I'm going to say, right, we need to change the manager, change the assistant, right? We need to change the goalkeeping coach, because it's no coincidence that our goalkeepers have been poor. But when they're at other places, look at Szczesny.
Right, and look what... Not even playing at the moment.
Listen, he's behind Buffon, but look at the season he had at Roma. And when he came in to cover Buffon when he was injured a couple of months ago, superb. And there was even talk that he could have probably kept Buffon out. You know,
you know what?
Look at Petr Cech as well. Has he declined, or have we made him worse? You know, but goalkeepers, they normally get better as they get older. Goalkeepers go on to 38, 39, 40. Remember Van der Sar?
Van der Sar, yeah.
Players like that. So is it a case of he's not getting the right coaching, or is he declining? I'd like to see Petr Cech under a new coach.
Listen, to be honest, the question is, I did an interview the other day on ITV, and they were saying to me about Wenger out and all this Wenger in, Wenger out stuff. I said, listen, it's not a question no longer of Wenger in or Wenger out. It's a question of when, right? He's going to leave. Is it going to be? So the three questions I said is that fans are debating at the moment is, does he go right now? Which I think he's earned himself some credit in the bank after last night's game. If he was to get rid of him now, I think that would be wrong now. But that's just my opinion. But does he go right now? Does he go at the end of the season, or does he go at the end of his contract? I think those are the three questions to be posed right now. What do you think? Now, end of the season.
I'm going by what I think will happen, not what I want.
No. I want what you.
I would have sacked him last week.
So you think he should go now?
Well, he ain't gonna go now.
No, but you think he should go now? You?
Yeah, I still think he should go.
Okay. All right, now tell me why you think he should go now, and then we'll get into what you think will happen.
Because I still think we're not going to win the Europa League under him.
What? How do you know? You didn't think we were going to beat
no
AC
one
Milan
knows
last night?
anything.
Exactly. So at least give him the chance, isn't it?
That's a big gamble to take, because if not getting in the Champions League this year could have such a knock-on effect with everything, even transfers.
Who would you like as the next manager?
I said that I wanted an interim manager to come in.
No, but who would you like as the next manager?
I'm going to get to it. Relax yourself.
No, because you're saying sack him now, right?
Yeah, wait, so you're going to listen to me.
All right.
If we'd sacked him now, we'd get an interim in for the rest of the season. I'd have bought an Henry or a Vieira.
And you think that they would get a sort of...
They could get...
Europa
they could really... What did I say to you last week as well? Do you remember Di Matteo at Chelsea?
Yeah, but that's a one-off as well.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The same kind of thing could happen. Di Matteo come into a dressing room. Everyone was like, what the hell are they doing bringing Di Matteo in? He won them the Champions League. That voice, that person who, you know, the players looked at and respected as a former player.
It's a one-off though, isn't it?
You never know. Henry walks into the dressing room, who's going to disrespect him? Who's going to look at him and go, why am I going to listen to this guy? Behave yourself. If you don't listen to Thierry Henry, then you might as well just retire.
So sack him now, you'd say, and bring in an interim manager.
Yeah, that's what I would have done. But
because,
you know, the other thing is as well, I think what the club should do, and I said this earlier on, right, is that let's get past Milan. All right, next week we've got 1 foot in the quarterfinal. Okay, but let's not be complacent and stupid. Deal with Watford at the weekend, and then we go into a 2.5 week break. I think that is the perfect time for Arsenal to regroup, to sit down, and for the club to turn round.
Give them a new deal.
Shut up. I think that's the perfect time for them to turn around and go, Arsene Wenger's leaving at the end of the season. So before we come out of that break, everyone knows where they are. Everyone's had time to refresh their minds and to, you know, have a little break and try and recharge the batteries, as they say. And we go into that April and May with a clear indication of what's happening. Because what's going to happen is, Robbie, if that doesn't happen, yeah, we then lose the next game. We lose a game, whenever that will be, whatever competition it is. Then all of a sudden it's, oh, he's got to go now. He's got to, then if he was to say he's going at the end of the season, and you know a game isn't going right, we may be 1-0 down, a player may miss a shot, there wouldn't be that kind of...
yeah.
No, but they would...
like you getting up, go now!
No, because
get out now!
People would be sitting there saying, well, at least we know where we stand.
I know you.
We know where we
stand. Get
stand.
out now, go!
We know where we stand. I'd be really happy if we had some clarity on the situation and we knew where we stood.
I agree with you. It's sort of like last year. Last year we needed clarity and we didn't get clarity.
No.
And that's what led to the really toxic atmosphere. This year it's been replaced with
apathy. And whose fault was that last year?
I think it was the board's fault.
And Arsene Wenger, even he admitted.
Yeah, but for me, it's supposed to be the board.
Yes, of course, it is.
The
board. The board.
All this putting everything on Wenger, right? Wenger's the manager of the club. He's not the owner. The owner and the owners and the people who make, you know, they're supposed to be the people who come out and say, well, listen, he's going at the end of the season, or he's staying till the end of his contract, or just tell us.
But he does.
They're supposed to be but he shouldn't be.
No, he shouldn't. If Arsene Wenger, if Arsene Wenger had been here for 2-3 years, he'd have probably been sacked by now.
Probably, I think he would have been.
But the only reason why he's getting this leeway, shall we say, is because he's been here so long.
I think it's just that, you know, I look at Arsenal, when I analyse it, you've got one guy who absolutely runs this club. And it's not Wenger, it's Kroenke, right?
You'd be surprised.
Because I think no matter what decision that everybody else tells him to come up with, whatever he decides is what's going to happen now. Last season, I think most people thought that Wenger should go. He had a really rough time. I know he won the FA Cup. Kroenke, he's very far away, decided to give him a new deal. And what I thought was wrong with that deal at the time is that even if he did give him a new contract as a reward for, you know, still getting a trophy at the end of the season, it should have been a rolling contract, I felt. That, you know, says that, listen, if you do well next season, then you can roll into that last one. But he didn't. And he basically, whatever he decides, goes. And he's not here in the UK to take all the flack and all the hassle.
He's left it to Josh.
And then I feel a bit sorry sometimes for Wenger, because then he's the guy that's left to take all the flack, and everyone blames him, and you're supposed to walk away. And why should he walk away?
Do you know what?
It's supposed to be the people in charge.
I would.
When it was sorry, just before you come back in there, when it was Leicester and Claudio Ranieri, right, and he just won them the league, and the board had a difficult decision to make. He'd lost the dressing room. They were playing poorly. That must have been so hard for them. You know, they would have partied together with Ranieri. They would have been with his family on a regular basis. They would have grown to love the guy. He's a very lovable guy. That decision by Leicester to sack Ranieri must have been so hard for the board, but they made the decision. Yeah. Our board seem incapable of making these decisions because it rests with one guy, and obviously he doesn't really care what's going on. But I think it's going to have to be one of the three. Is it going to be immediately? I don't think it should be, because I don't see what the gain is from sacking him right now. I just feel that, and I do feel that Wenger, no matter what you think about that guy, he has been a classy guy for Arsenal over the years. He has brought a lot. He's a legend of this club. I think even his biggest haters right now say that he deserves a statue. He deserves to be, you know, it's when he's gone we're going to really, really appreciate some of the things he's done.
He's got a statue.
Right? He's got a little bust thing inside. I mean, a proper statue outside the club. He deserves a statue like you got Tony Adams. That he deserves a statue. What statue? You've got some joke coming, I know. What is it?
I'm just trying to envisage what kind of statue they're going to make of him.
Well, he deserves a statue.
One sat down on the bench.
He deserves...
It wouldn't be him standing up barking orders, would it?
With him holding a double. Right, remember that, yeah? Or him something to do with the 49 unbeaten season. You don't forget those things, right?
Probably,
so this is why this guy, this is why he deserves to go out with a bit of class. I really do think that. I would hate to see this man hounded out of the club.
Well, it is what it is. Right? Arsenal comes before anything. Arsenal,
and
do you know what?
Becomes,
I was meant to...
Arsenal comes
you're always
before...
waffling on, man.
Arsenal comes before anything, but Arsenal's a classy club. Don't you want him to go out with a bit of class?
Nah, it is what it is. Listen, at the end of the day, I'd like for him to go out by winning the Europa League. That'd be lovely. That'd be nice. And then we can all move on. But if we don't win the Europa League, we continue this form in the league.
There's 8 games left.
But even so, right? I don't want to go to the next 8 games and watch us play like shit and lose all the time.
There's 8 games left. Then if we lost to Watford and we got knocked out of the Europa League and he announced he was leaving at the end of the season, let's give the guy an almighty send-off, man, win or lose. Because it wouldn't make no difference to us, right? Really, as in the league position.
I'm having the fattest party when he leaves, bigger than Glastonbury.
You're starting to sound like a hater.
No, I'm just saying
that. You're a hater.
I'm going to have the biggest party, bigger than Glastonbury. Crucial Robbie's coming out of retirement.
I won't be there at your party.
Performing.
Nah,
you're performing.
That's the big cock.
You will come.
I wouldn't be there because
you'll be filming.
I respect
ArsenalFanTV. We're live here at Glastonbury DT.
yeah. I wouldn't be there, man. I think this guy deserves to go out with class.
To say something. I was meant to show you this yesterday when we was at the San Siro. I noticed that I was looking at something online, and I need to dig it back up. But there was a reporter, and they put something online, and they'd done an article, and they've been told by someone within the club that. Stan Kroenke has said that he's not going to listen to outside people to make his decision on Wenger, and they actually said that they're not going to listen to what people say on Twitter or ArsenalFanTV.
Is it?
And I was sat there,
watches ArsenalFanTV.
And I was sitting there cracking up laughing. And I remember at the time you was doing Instagram Live or something, so I didn't interrupt you and say something, and I was meant to show you. I'll have to find it. But I was just sitting there thinking to myself, I was just had this vision of Kroenke sat in America just thinking like, who the fuck's this DT guy? Who is this guy that's going mad? And you know, who's this Troops guy? What's blood? What's fam? And I'm not going to attempt to do an American accent or whatever, but you know, you can just picture it now, him and his aides and whatever, all just sitting round and watching ArsenalFanTV after we lose to Brighton and stuff, and thinking, oh my God, it's getting pretty bad there, isn't it? Who's this guy?
Don't be surprised if our season tickets are revoked.
Well, apparently we ain't got season tickets, have we?
Revoked.
Apparently we ain't got season tickets.
Yeah,
You buy me, Mike.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Apparently, you know, that's the. Yeah, you know what? Maddest thing as well. Yeah.
What's that now?
Oh yeah. What's that? Season ticket. Yeah. What was it? What was it? Troop said. SYM. Yeah.
SYM.
Yeah.
We won't say what SYM.
Yeah.
Is. Right. Listen. So just going back, I want him to go out classy. I want him to go out with his head held high. I really do. You know, I hate when I understand it because I'm there at games and I understand the hurt of fans and I understand that this has been diabolical. But some of the things that get said,
but I also think that he's had the chance
and all that.
No, there's no need for that. There's no need for that.
I really hate all that stuff.
There is no need for that.
The guy deserves to go out in class, and when he's gone, we will look back at him fondly. We will look back at him. We will. I don't think. I hear a lot of people saying his legacy's ruined. I don't believe it has been. I believe that he's had a tough time, and of course, when you're discussing his legacy when he's gone, we'll discuss the fact that, you know, the last 10 years were really rough. But then we'll say, but he did win 3 FA Cups. He still continued to win some trophies, but it was tough times for him and things kind of overtook him and things like that.
Do you know what I think?
But let him go out with a bit of... But you are right when you say that.
I do just think that
we need an announcement.
He's had his opportunity to leave on a high. A lot of times.
You said something earlier. So you said that you heard that something will be announced.
With no, it's just what I've picked up online this morning, and there's, you know, reporters and bits and pieces that are saying that, you know, Arsenal want clarity to the situation, and they're going to say that, you know, he's going.
If he goes, give me 2 managers to take over.
Allegri, first and foremost. That guy is Allegri. On £3 million a year. Now, when you look at Arsenal on 10, come on now.
And do you know what the thing is? If now I've heard a rumour, and this is just a rumour, that we've been talking to Allegri, right? But I've heard a rumour. Now, if we were to move for Allegri, this is where your point kicks in. If we were to move for Allegri, we've got to move fast, because I think Chelsea might try and get Allegri as well, because obviously Conte looks like he's definitely on his way out.
Yeah.
So Allegri, I think, would be perfect for Arsenal. I heard Italian correspondent saying the other day, they asked to describe Allegri's style of play, and the guy was just saying he's adaptable. He goes, he's not like a Pep where his style's all out attack, but then he's not like another manager that's all out defence. He literally adapts every game.
The guy brought on 2 fullbacks to change the game against Tottenham. 2 fullbacks. I didn't see that.
Yeah, Fox Pochettino, didn't
you know what I mean? I'm watching it, and I'm watching the substitutions come on, and I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm like, but then what he did was, he was watching the game obviously and thought, Trippier and Davis are bombing 2 on, and they're causing us problems. Send them back that way, and then it narrows
narrowed it down,
and then opens it for us.
Dybala and Higuain right into the game.
How do you, mind? You bring on 2 fullbacks, needing management. 2 goals, and you bring on 2 fullbacks.
And to be down like that to Tottenham, who, you know, whatever we want to say about them, they've been superb at, you know, Wembley. They haven't lost in Europe. They've beaten Real Madrid at Wembley. They've beaten Dortmund at Wembley. You know, they've taken big scalps at Wembley. Only Chelsea, the only team to beat them of the top teams at Wembley this season.
West Ham beat them.
Right, but I mean, like, you know, the top teams there. Yeah, West Ham had that win in the FA. No, it wasn't in the FA Cup, Carabao Cup.
Yeah,
with a weakened Tottenham team.
But Allegri.
Right? Allegri's a top guy.
I reckon Allegri, and the best thing that Allegri could do, and I think he's a smart enough man to know that, he will have his own coaches as well. He's trusted people.
Like you said, he'd triple his wages, wouldn't he?
But at the same time, I think he would be very wise to add some Arsenal experience into his backroom staff, some people with know-how.
Allegri and Henry.
That's what I mean. And then Allegri and an Henry. He will have his own physios and his own trainers and all that kind of stuff. People that he trusts and he's worked with, so he's never going to change that.
I was saying Allegri last year, to be honest.
I was.
He would have been brilliant. You know what I mean?
Remember what happened at the FIFA Awards when I had my photo with him and stuff? And I was like, when you come into Arsenal, when you come in? And he just looked at me with a big grin on his face, just
English,
I don't know.
But he would be brilliant, and you know, he's a forward-thinking manager. And I think, you know, when you look at him at Juventus, it probably looks like, you know, even though Napoli have been brilliant, it looks like they're going to win the league again this year. Was that 5-6 years in a row?
I think that.
I mean, he's time for him. Yeah, he can't do much more at Juventus, can he?
Apart from probably win the Champions League.
Possibly could win the Champions League, but I'd like to see somebody like that at Arsenal as well. I agree with you 100%. Give me one other name. I know you've done a video for us where you've come up with 5 arm replacements. I don't want you to reveal all 5, but give me one other.
The other would be the outside the box one, like the curveball, which is where you take the massive gamble.
Right, who's that then?
Which is an Henry, Vieira, Bergkamp type.
3 managers?
No, not 3. I'm just saying one of those or 2 of those.
Right, which 2?
In terms of experience managerial-wise, you probably have to say that's Vieira, because he's actually doing the managerial job. I think
New York done anything?
They fit runners up last year in the MLS. They've only just started their season in the MLS and they've won their first game. So yeah, I know it's the MLS, but he's cutting his teeth. He's understanding the managerial side of things. Bergkamp, he was obviously assistant for quite a period of time at Ajax, but then at the same time, has he still got the flying problems? You can't have a manager that can't go to some European game, especially if we're in the Europa League. There's no way you're driving to some of them. Remember Belarus and the trouble I had? Do you know what I mean? Bergkamp's never getting there.
Come with you, innit?
Yeah, Bergkamp can come with me. Come on, Dennis, jump in the car, mate.
Yeah, we're up through Lithuania, through Belarus.
And then obviously you've got Thierry Henry, and he's currently assistant at Belgium. And that's a seriously high level to be a part of. So that's the outside the box one. That's the one where you go, it's a gamble, and it's more of a heartstring. You know, that kind of one. Whereas a fan, you're going, oh, I'd love Thierry back. I'd love Patrick back. It's, you know, but then on the flip side, you go, oh shit, I don't want to be lifting up a banner about Henry in a year. Do you know what I mean? I love the guy too much. I can't be lifting up a Thierry, thanks for the memories. I can't be doing that. No. So yeah, that's the curveball. And then obviously you've got the names like your Ancelotti, Joachim Low. I've heard very strong rumours over the last few days that's been thrown into the hat. And the only gamble
Conte?
with him,
if he leaves Chelsea, which it looks like he definitely will.
This season's worried me about him.
I didn't like the other day. City.
That was
parking the bus at Man City.
Well, it's the way they walked. Literally walked. If Mesut Ozil had done some of the things that the Chelsea players were doing, we would have deported him. It's like the press would have absolutely hammered him. But yeah, he's a good manager, but I just don't know whether it's. I don't know. I just want some excitement. I want something that's and Allegri, man. That is. I called it last year. I said Allegri, and I know we were all looking so deep into it, and we were going. He's taking English lessons. I think his daughter has taken GCSEs in England and all this kind of stuff.
He's looking at a flat in London.
Yeah, apparently they have got a flat because someone went and
Is it
they dug deep.
Is it in West London, isn't it?
No, it's actually about 8 miles away from the Emirates. But they dug
that could still be West London.
But they dug deep, went and found an apartment which was actually in him and his wife's name. And listen, Arsenal fans are crazy. Remember, there was over 30,000 people watching Aubameyang's plane fly over it. Do you know what I mean? So when I say that Arsenal fans can dig and find some information,
they can investigate.
Yeah. So you know, we see all that kind of stuff last year. But I look at the managers out there right now. Obviously, you've got your Ancelotti, who's available. Okay, but then
Marco Silva,
that's a gamble as well, isn't it? It is a gamble.
Baldy?
Shut up.
What do you mean shut up?
Shut up, man.
Give him his wings.
Nah, man. Them wings have been chopped off long ago, man. Do you know what I mean? But
listen, who do you guys, I want you to leave it in the comments.
Who do you want? Who would be your first choice? Yeah?
Allegri or Joachim Low.
Yeah? And would you have...
Or maybe an Ancelotti just to see things through. But
no matter who it is as a manager, would you say, right, you've got to have a Thierry Henry or Patrick Vieira as your assistant?
I wouldn't impose that on them. No, I wouldn't. I'd love to see that. I'd love to. Whoever. I think Allegri. I said it last year. He'd be perfect. I think our style needs to be adjusted to modern day football, right? And I also feel that whoever comes in, I'm not saying that people like Henry have to be assistant, but there has to be now, we need to start bringing back some of these old Arsenal players back into the fold. Yeah. You know, even a guy like Ian Wright, his voice needs to be heard around the place in a positive way.
Well, the thing was, I think Wrighty could work with the youngsters. I reckon Wrighty could work with the youngsters.
Lee Dixon, who you said that you spoke about earlier, why, you know, get somebody like that around.
Lee Dixon turned around and said at the AGM, he said that he's willing to come in a couple of days a week to talk to some of the players,
Seaman,
to, to speak to the right back. That's what I mean. I've done an interview with David Seaman a few months ago, and he would love to come back. Sol Campbell.
Yeah, Sol Campbell. You know what I mean? Get the soul of these, you know, soul.
Yay!
Get these guys involved in the club again, right? Because, you know,
they're legends, man, and they've won the big trophies.
Yeah, but Allegri, I think, would be brilliant. Allegri would be fantastic. That would be my number one.
Allegri, man.
That'd be my number one call right now. I think he could bring it back.
Yeah.
We've reached the end of the show today. Over here in Milan, it's been beautiful. It's been a lovely couple of days.
And you know what? The camera can't see it, but what's over there?
There's a church over there.
And I couldn't get on the pitch last night to bless it, so what did I do?
Right, well, he said he prayed over there. Go over there and pray for us.
I was standing on this balcony, looking over there at this church. Trust me, there's a church over there. And I was praying to God Almighty that we pulled off a
prayed to God Almighty for Watford, right?
I'm going to pray.
Praying, and he's not even Catholic as well. And then he was praying, and
I'm praying for Allegri.
He's praying for Allegri, right? And also, listen, I've got a ticket to give away to an executive box at Arsenal for that Watford game. It's not, you know, you can't come, right? I've been told I've got to give it away to a fan, but
what? I'm not a fan.
You're not. Right? You've got to give it, right? To win this, you have to subscribe to the UFF football channel, for which I do a daily show. DT features on there a lot as well. The link is below, right? So you have to subscribe and you can win a chance to come along to me. I've been given a ticket to an executive box.
Stop, you know what lying, it's your box.
Yeah, I wish it was my box. It's pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, I know, I've been in it.
I've been in it. You've been in it.
I've been in it.
That's one of the reasons. After he winning it, we didn't get it again for about 6 months, right? But the people have kindly donated it, and as I always say, for me, when these donations come in, I want fans to benefit from it as well. So I want to bring a fan along with me, but you've got to subscribe to the UFF channel. So do that right now, and then they're going to pick somebody at random, and you can come in with me on Sunday. I don't even really want to go in that box on Sunday, you know. I'll go. I'd like to go.
Why don't we do it? Hold on. Why don't we do it?
Cameraman saying he wants to
go. Stop the cameraman.
You know what?
You know the problem. When he goes in the executive box, he drinks too much prosecco, and then he can't film straight, and then he's all like this.
The thing is about it, you know, executive boxes. I've been in there a couple of times, and it's lovely.
Should we do a poll?
No, I ain't doing no poll. But because you're with it, right?
He knows I'm with it.
You know what? No. The thing is, I am going to go in it because I've told him I'm going. But for me, sometimes I just like being in the seat with your fans and your mates.
Yeah, but you get a cheese board at half time.
Don't want no cheese board. I just want 3 points.
Listen, when that woman brought the cheese board round to me at half time, I was like, what the fuck is this? It's like, what's going on here then? Do you know what I mean? And the best bit was when she came out with a big red blanket. I felt like arson. So what's going on here then?
Yeah, it's just a bit, but it is nice. But listen, if you want a blanket, you want a cheese board, right? Subscribe to UFF and you can come along and experience these things, right? Are really extraordinary at a football game, but you can experience it, so make sure you do that. Don't forget to subscribe here to us as well on ArsenalFanTV. Mr. DT, it's been a pleasure being out here in Italy. Really enjoyed the trip. What else you say? Don't forget, I always forget that. Don't forget to download the podcast, all right? The link is in the
cameraman's always sitting there behind the guy. You need cue cards. So you can keep standing there just like this.
Should know by now.
Yeah, all we can hear is just
cue card, throw him over the balcony, yeah. Thanks for watching the show.